everyone, welcome for Together We Are Mondays. This week I want to talk about lapses, relapses, slips in recovery, and kind of picking yourself back up and getting back on track. A quick side note, I don't know why the camera is really weird in this and it makes me like look widescreen. I don't know. There's something up with my camera right now. No idea what it is. I'm trying to work it out, but sorry, just gonna have to deal with it for now. But yes, as I said, I want to talk about lapses, relapses, slips. These are things during your recovery period that um, basically trigger your eating disorder and your symptoms slip out. So you find yourself restricting, binging, purging, and falling into those old habits, those old thinking patterns, and kind of just recognizing that your recovery is kind of put on hold. With relapse, it's a complete return to the symptoms. A lapse is just not like it's not as full blown as a relapse, and a slip is just one time you messed up and you went with the eating disorder thoughts, and that's that. And I think that's something in recovery that does get really hard. I know, like, I have been really strong in recovery recently, like, for a good amount of time, just making sure that I was doing great. And just all of a sudden I slipped, like, out of the blue. I had no idea what triggered it. Um, and it just was something that happened. And I wasn't quite sure how to deal with that and how to cope with that because for so long I had been doing so well and everything was going great for me. And it kind of set me back a step. But I think that it's important to realize that although you have slips, you have lapses, you have relapses, it, yes, may push you back a step, but it still is part of the recovery process. Like, you can't, I know many people have said this, you can't recover until you've had those relapses or those slips, because it does show you that recovery is worth fighting for, and kind of test your recovery so that when you are still getting that treatment, when you're getting support from your support team, your treatment team, whatever, that you're able to, if you slip, get that support and be able to move forward from that, so that later in life when you're out of therapy um, and kind of living a recovered life, if you end up slipping or relapsing or lapsing, that you know what has to be done in order to continue forward and to get back into that recovered life. And I think that one thing that is so vital to keep in mind is that it's not the end of the world if you slip and lapse. No one is perfect. You can't expect the perfect recovery. I know for the longest time I was like, recovery is gonna be so easy. I'm just gonna sit there and we'll talk and nothing's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden I'll be cured and that's it. But the thing is, that's not how it worked at all. I found myself crying myself to sleep at home. I found myself drawing like crazy to express myself. I saw um, myself in those therapy sessions just getting to such a personal level, and such raw emotion was evicted that I didn't know how to deal and cope with that. And that's okay. Having those setbacks, having things that come up in the road to recovery, that is normal. There is, as I just made a video for my Perfect in the Skin channel, there is no textbook case to recovery. So these slipses, lapses, relapses, they are important because they help you kind of get a solid base in order to rebuild yourself. So on those nights or those days or those weeks or months that you find yourself in a lapse, relapse, slip, it's so important to the next day recognize that the past is over. You can't change what happened. You can't pretend that the slip didn't happen, but you can move forward. It is a new day. And whether you feel disgusting from a binge purge and feel that you are called to restrict, or you feel that you're compelled to continue to restrict or engage in other symptoms, um, it's so important to realize that in that moment, your hunger and your well-being is not based upon the events of the past. It's not based upon an emotion or thing that may be lingering in the air, the tension that maybe felt in this triggering or whatever triggering situation. It's so important, though, to remember that. That's something that really just hit me, is that emotions don't dictate whether or not you're hungry. You have hunger cues, which was something that I lost because of my illness, but being able to like recognize those again, which I'm gonna grab lunch in a second because I'm starving. Not really, but I'm like really hungry, is important to recognize. But like, those are cues to tell you to fuel yourself. And so those days after, you slip and fall, it's so important to continue to eat healthy, and to know that the past is over. The only thing that you have is the present moment. And you can continue to let Ed scoop up and to just let him manipulate food and to control and just be present. Or you can say, today's going to be a really hard day and I know that. And that's okay. Because yesterday was a really rough day for me. So today I'm just going to stick to the basics. I'm going to stick to my meal plan. I'm going to stick to coping skills. I'm going to stick to all of that in order to kind of solidify again my recovery. And so I think that in regards to slip, slaps, relapse, it is so, so important to have that mentality the day after. Write yourself notes, reminders, no matter what. However you're feeling, having those feelings, yes, I know, when you wake up feeling fat or you wake up feeling like the most disgusting person in the world. The thing is to have a commitment, to have a promise, whether it be to yourself, to a recovery friend, to your therapist, treatment team, family, whoever is um, kind of that higher power in your life that is promoted by AA. Um, Having that like promise can really make all the difference, because it continues to instill recovery in your life, even though you slipped, even though things fell apart. And the thing is, you have what it takes to get back up because you've done it before. And it's so important also to remember that the hardest step is reaching out for help. The first time that I sat in my therapist's office, I was basically unable to speak. I didn't know how to articulate what was going on. And even though that was hard, I dealt with that and I managed to get through that. And as soon as somebody comes out and their eating disorders are known about and they're in treatment, the only thing that you can do is be open, because at that point, your life is an open book to your therapist, because it will definitely like help them help you get to that happy, positive, recovery filled life where, yes, it's not going to be this world where you walk around and everything's joy, smiles, and you're loving life like crazy. But it's where you know that recovery is in absolutely everything and you're just connected to yourself in a way that you never thought you would be connected. That is so important to keep in mind. And so making that promise, having that commitment that no matter what happens, if you slip, relapse, lapse, um, that you'll make that commitment to eat healthy the next day and continue to reach out for help, whether it be a severe relapse in which you need to contact your treatment team. Definitely follow up with that, even making out a plan and having that on hand to know that you're going to eat the next day, you're going to um, relax, you're not going to beat yourself up because of what happens, because they're just parts of life. It's part of recovery to have these stumbles, have these falls. I mean, even in life, as I was just saying, um, kids learn to walk by falling. That's how they learn to get around in this world. And so it's not the child who can stand up immediately and run that really succeeds, because you have to have those falls and you have to have those setbacks, those slips, lapses, relapses, in order to help you develop the strength in order to continue and to walk forward proudly. So I think that's really what I want to leave you guys with. I want to hear what the other girls had to offer about coping and getting along, not getting along with, but like kind of dealing with relapse, lapse, and slips. Um, Interested to see that. The other question that, well, for the question of the week, it is, I didn't really think of a question yet. Do you have any fun summer plans? That's a good one. I have family actually flying in today from Greece. I'm so excited to see them. They're spending the summer with us, so excited there. Um, I'm also going down to Disney for 2 weeks. It's gonna be so exciting. And besides that, I took a nannying job, and so it's a lot of work this summer. Working 4 days a week, 9 hours. So it's gonna be an interesting summer, but it'll be nice having like family, my cousin, and like my yaya, who's my grandma here and stuff. So that's fun. Yes, as you guys can see, I did get a haircut. I hope you guys noticed. Let me know what you think. I love it. Okay, anyway, now that I'm just ranting about nothing. I will let you guys go, and I will see you next Monday.